welcome back to Suburban Hunt 365. I am DJ, back in the reload room again today. And in today's episode, we're going to be continuing on with our shotgun series here on this channel, where we've been looking at rifled slugs through a smooth barrel. And what I've been using is behind me here. It is the Remington 870 Super Mag. Is a 26-inch barrel, and I've got the Vortex Venom red dot on top of there. But what we've done is we've gone through and we test the chokes. We basically do everything from skeet all the way to extra full, and we see how the different projectiles do with each different choke. But in today's episode, what we're actually going to be looking at is a different choke itself. What we're going to be looking at is a Carlson Rifled Choke. So I actually had come across these a little while ago, and I believe one of the subscribers from this channel actually commented on a video asking about these chokes. So it's a very interesting concept for me. So this is a Carlson Rifled Choke, but you can see there's actually rifling inside the choke. So I'm curious to see, is this little bit of, what is this, maybe 2¼ inches long? Is that going to really make that big of a difference when running a rifled slug through it? Really not 100% sure what we're going to see here, guys. But we will be shooting it at 50 yards like we've done all the others. But what we're going to do is we're going to run through our Federal Power Shocks, our Remington Sluggers, our Remington Managed Recoil, a Winchester Super X, and then our Hornady American Whitetail slugs. Again, these are all rifled slugs, and we're just going to be adding a rifled choke. So does it make a difference? Will it matter? Let's find out. First up is going to be the Remington Managed Recoil. Oh, okay, that's an 11.5-inch group. That's not good at all. The Managed Recoils really didn't do that great through all the other chokes. We'll get to all that data here in a little bit, but 11.5, that's not a great way to start. I was really hoping for a little bit more out of the gate with the rifled choke, but we got plenty more rounds to go. Let's go ahead and let's move into the regular Remington Sluggers. We'll see how that does. Okay, well that's a lot better than what we just saw out of a Managed Recoil. That particular group comes in at 4 inches. But to have those first two shots basically hit bullseye, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. But a 4-inch group at 50 yards. So can I harvest with it? Probably. I would definitely aim in the middle of the red basket if you were. But 4 inches, not too shabby. But again, we'll look at how that compares to the other chokes once we get through the actual shot groups. So let's go ahead and let's move into the Winchester Super X and see if they can do any better. All right, that group's kind of interesting. It's basically a straight line up and down right there. 5 3/8 of an inch is what this came into. Basically just straight up and down. It's kind of an odd looking group there. A little high bullseye, but that's, you know, if we had a good group, we could adjust that. But not a lot of fireworks so far. 11.5, 4, and now 5 3/8. Not really doing a whole lot here. Let's go ahead and let's get into the Hornady American Whitetails. Now, before we show you these shots here, guys, I got to apologize. I ended up having to set the camera on the same table I was shooting from. So these are going to be a little bit shaky to get through, but you can still see the shots hitting target. So bear with the shakiness on this one. Let's get through it. All right, again, guys, sorry about that shakiness. I ended up having to put the camera mount on the same table I was shooting from. Makes for a very shaky experience. So I do apologize for that. But looking at this group here, though, guys, we got 5 shots that came in at, again, a 4-inch group. So far, the Remingtons and the Hornadys are coming in at a 4-inch group. Not terrible, but I've saved the best so far because the Federals have shot the best groups so far, so I've kind of saved that one for last. So let's see, can we beat 4 inches with the Federals? Holy smokes. All right, let's play that back again for those first 2 shots. That was 1 and then 2. 1 and then 2. Almost in the exact same hole. You could barely see that paper move when that second shot went through it. And then the other 3 rounds are dancing right there with it. That is a 3 3/8 of an inch group, guys. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. But is it the shell or is it the choke that's made the difference? All right, guys, we're going to do this in the same order as we shot these things. So we're looking here at the Remington reduced recoil, or the managed recoil rather. And as you can see, I've got it highlighted there. With this one, our average feet per second is 1158, standard deviation of 9, but we have a 11.5 inch group. That is actually the worst group out of all of the managed recoil with the other chokes, from skeet to extra full. So definitely not liking the slower velocity round there for that one. So we slide up here to the Remington Sluggers, and with that one you can see that we have an average feet per second of 1445, standard deviation of 16.93. But that group came in at a 4 inch group. So that is actually going to be the 4th best group out of the 6 chokes that we have. So kind of on par from what we've seen. You got a 4 3/8 there, and then a bunch of 3 1/4, 3 3/4, and then a 7 offset there. But it's basically on par with what we've seen with the Remington Sluggers. Then we came down here to the Winchesters, and as you can see there, our average feet per second is 1595, 23.2 is our standard deviation. That one came in at a 5 3/8 of an inch. And again, if you look at these, we've got 4 3/4, 5 1/4, 5 3/4, a couple 7s there. So we're kind of on par with what we've seen so far with the Winchester slugs. So let's look at the Hornadys, and you can see there that came in at an average feet per second of 1570. Standard deviation is 14, and then a 4 inch group also with that one. But that one you can kind of see we got a 2.5, a couple 4s, a couple 6s. So there again, we're on par with what the particular shot was doing before. So last but certainly not least, the best group of today so far is the Federals, looking at an average of 1526, standard deviation of 6.4, and the group size of 3 3/8 of an inch. And there again, you can look at the groups. We got 2 1/8, 2 3/4, a couple 3s and a 4 there. We're really on par. All right, guys, so looking at the data right there, that kind of shows us that the choke really didn't make that big of a difference. Each one of the brands, each one of the shot shells kind of did what it was doing before, with going from the skeet to the extra full. So getting this rifle choke out of my particular shotgun, it really didn't make much of a difference. So when I'm comparing the regular chokes to this rifle choke, it's really not worth it, because there again, guys, it's a $60 choke. 60 bucks for not really much of a difference. So if I were y'all, I'd just let it go. Just leave it there. All right, guys, if you guys are still with us, I cannot say thank you enough for sticking with us here on this channel and continuing to be a part of what we are doing. Guys, if you can, hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. And as always, you guys drive this channel with the comments down below. Please let us know what you think about this content, and if you'd like to see anything else. Guys, from Suburban Hunt 365, I'm DJ. We'll catch you guys on the next one.